Hi, my name is Lisa with Life Changes. We're going to hear Warren's story. We're going to be promoting our next year calendar for people in recovery, and Warren's clean date is in July, and he's going to give us a little bit of, about his story and the stuff that he's went through and his addiction, and hopefully you guys will watch us on YouTube. So, tell me a little bit about when you first got into trouble.
When I was 6, I built a tree fort on top of a lady's garage, and
You got arrested. Poor Warren.
but after that, it was just I grew up at 10 and 11 and 12. I was smoking weed and just causing trouble. So that's when it started. I ended up in reform school.
In reform school?
Yeah, I went to reform school, and then from there I kept doing what I was doing. I had a scholarship for baseball, and ended up breaking my ankle, so I lost that.
Wow.
And I think that's when right after that I ended up in prison.
So how many times have you been to prison?
6.
6 times?
Yeah.
And were they all like long periods of time, or how long did you end up? What's the longest that you've spent in prison?
7.5 years, 6.5 years, 6.5, 5, 4.5, 2.
Oh my goodness. And was it all here in Nevada?
No, I was in Michigan too.
Oh, Michigan too?
Yeah.
Is that where you were born and raised?
No, I was born in Pennsylvania. I raised in Michigan though.
Yeah. So tell me tell me what made a huge impact in your life when you knew that you were done. So tell me a little bit about that.
This last case, my friend got killed. We did a home invasion and he got killed, and my other friend got half his arm shot off. And like I was telling you, a week before that, I was on my way to,
Right, to do something.
yeah.
Right.
And but I asked God to save me, and when I turned around, I was sitting at a church, right behind the church. But then a week later is when I caught this case. So when I got arrested, I swear that God said, "Look, you asked for help."
This is the way I'm going to help you.
Yeah. So it happened like that. I mean, there's people can believe what they want to believe, but it happened. So,
Absolutely. So you were asking God to show you some way for this madness and craziness to stop. You're asking Him just to help you, and then you end up being in this church, and then you end up getting in trouble with the law.
a week later,
Yeah.
and out of 3 of us, I was the only one that didn't get shot. And it's crazy because I was the first one in.
Right.
So, yeah, it just, to me, it was a miracle for me, but it's too bad for my other friend,
Right. So tell me, so here you are, you get into trouble, and this was the last time, you're done. But tell me, how much time did you do, and why did what made a difference this time? What changed you this time that you were in prison?
I did 7.5 years this time. And when I first started, when I was in the jail, I swore right then and there, I'm done. My friend got killed. I've done some bad things in my life.
Right.
And I ain't gonna lie about that. But to me, everything just came together for me. Everything is almost like I knew I'd ask for help, and I knew God was helping me.
Right.
And I knew that. I can't explain it other than to say I knew in my heart and soul that this was my chance to get right with life. So
you did
I
this.
swore right then I wouldn't do it. I would never do nothing again. I haven't.
Good for you. So in this 7 years that you were in the prison system, did you go to groups? Did you go to church? What did you do for yourself in there to get yourself?
Study the Bible. I ran a Bible study every single day. I had a Bible study for 18 months, and up in the corner of a unit, and everybody, the whole unit, it was positive because of it. So I mean, it made a difference. So, and like I said, I studied. I mean, my brain ain't what it used to be. I think I got dementia or something. I'm not sure, but I forget. I forget, like, I used to memorize the Bible, and all of a sudden, boom, I started forgetting. But
So here you are doing this Bible study, people are looking up to you, you're spreading the word, you're making a difference in people's lives, and I think the parole board saw that in you. Obviously, they saw a change in you, or did you just end up expiring at your
I
time?
expired. I asked for expiration, but there's a guy in the parole board. I met him when he first came in as a CO.
Mhm.
I mean, like back in 91, 92, and he actually told me that I was different.
Right,
So,
they can tell when
Yeah,
somebody's really
he
made a
even
change.
said that. Yeah.
And they
So-
see it in your behavior in the prison. They can see that you've really, really made a change for yourself.
Well, plus that even people out here that I've known for years, they even, man, you're different, and I'll tell them thank you. You know, listen, I have no problem talking Jesus to. I work at Rail City Gardens, and I talk about Jesus all the time to everybody. You know, witches. I mean, I work with a couple witches. You know, so I talk. So, but they want to listen. They do.
They
They
do,
listen.
absolutely.
That's crazy. I know it's crazy, but it's the energy.
What do you think at that point of your life, do you remember being your darkest point? Like, do you remember anything specifically about your life, you alone, not the crimes that you did, but you alone, where you remember one specific time where you just felt alone and, you know, at a darkest point?
Yeah, when I was on my way to kill that guy.
Yeah.
I was like I spent 4 hours walking in 115-degree weather looking to kill somebody, and that's when I sat down at the back of that church. You know,
And that's when God showed you.
everything happened for me. It was like everything. I had to. I call it the spirit of Cain. Cain killed Abel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had that spirit in me. I was ready to kill. You know, and I'm murdered, not just to kill somebody, murder somebody. And that's when I decided right then and there, I need help, Father. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I've been saved since I was like 12. I remember when I was 12, I got saved. I found this key to a lock. And when I threw it up on the roof, and the guy came looking for it, so I climbed up on the roof and got it. And he preached to me and my friend for like an hour and a half. And I remember thinking, man, this guy's long-winded, right? But I remember surrendering to Jesus. Even though, I don't know if I was serious, but I remember that though.
Right.
So all my life, I've been a church goer, you know. But this last eight years or so is when I really, I'm a born
Transformed
again
yourself,
Christian,
born again.
man. I'm all about Jesus. I said before, my foundation is Jesus and my purpose is Jesus. So that's me. I try not to curse. Sometimes I curse, you know. Sometimes I look at women, but I do not. You know what I'm saying? It is. I'm a grown man.
Right, you're a grown man.
But other than that, I live for Jesus.
That's good
So-
stuff right there. So here's my other question. So here you're getting ready, you're expired out, and they released you from prison, and you didn't have anywhere to go, right? You didn't have
Listen, they
any.
stole my money when I got out. They give you a little debit card. It's supposed to
Right.
give you $25.
Right.
They took me to the bus stop at 6 o'clock in the morning, dropped me off. There was nothing on it.
So you had nowhere, no money.
No, I was stuck in Carson City. Nobody. And that's another thing. I'm telling you, the journey began right before that. But right then and there, I meet this guy. Guy comes in. He says, "Come on, man." He said, "Let's go get you a cup of coffee. There's a place about a half mile down the road. Maybe we can get you a ride or bus fare to Reno." So we get all the way down there, and they're not open. And then I realized I left all my ID sitting on top of the ATM machine. I've been trying that card. So, man, I'm thinking, no way, this is 7-Eleven. There's no way it's going to be there. I get all the way back, and I'm praying the whole time. And sure enough, it was still there. So then I get all the way back to this place. I go in the wrong door. And I said, hey, I need help. I understand you guys can help. And they said, no, you're in the wrong spot. That place don't open for another 2 hours. And some guy walks out, and he says, well, where are you trying to get to? I said, Reno. He says, well, if you want to come help me take a client to a hospital, I can give you a ride. That's how I got dropped off in Reno. Right there. So all that, I mean, that right there was
A sign.
So then I ended up going to the shelter.
So So you stay in the shelter. How long do you stay in the shelter?
I stayed there for 7 days.
7 days
Yeah.
at the overflow or in the shelter itself?
At the first day I was in the room up there. Then for the next 5 or 6 I was in the overflow.
So tell me what it was like when you were sitting on the bench all by yourself by the river.
Well, I was just sitting there kicking it, just, you know, reflecting. Like, I didn't even realize I was right there across from the ambassadors, and just all of a sudden I hear a voice and it said, "Hey man," and he asked me if my name was Brady, and I says, "Yeah." I shouldn't have said that.
Oh, go ahead. You're okay.
Anyways, he says, and he said, I'm Josh. I looked at him, I looked at the little uniform. He said, "No, I'm not a cop." So he says, "Man, I know you." He said, "We did time together like 20 years ago." And I remembered him. And I told him my story, you know, about how they took my money. But I told him, "Look, I don't even smoke, man." I said, this shelter is horrible. You know, it's bad people. I feel bad for him, but he said, "Hold on for a minute." He said, "Come on." He took me over and introduced me to Austin and Grant. And they gave me a ducat for some. Matter of fact, this shirt, I went and got this shirt. I like this shirt, though. And some shoes, right? And I said, "Come back at 3. And I came back at 3, and they called Rachel Rosenstiel. That's when she showed up, and she took down my information, and then she called you, got through on the first time too, and bam, said you're going to life changes. So, and I told her, I said, my friend Brian's been trying to get through to Lisa for a minute, so it must be a girl thing, right?
Oh my goodness. And then tell everybody what it felt like to know that you have a home to go to.
Listen, I know this, I said it before, this sounds corny, but at that moment, it felt like my soul smiled, you know what I'm saying? It did, I felt like, oh, even now it's like I get a chill, because it's like, I knew I was gonna be all right, you know? And my friend Brian, the first night out, he came and got me from down there, and we went to celebrate recovery, up on Summit, and I liked it. That was the first time I'd been to something like that, so for me, I knew this is where I wanted. Then you took me to Here Comes the Judge. Hey, the stuff like that, I like that. You know, for me, it's a positive. You know, I finally met Lonnie after about being at 5 different places. But it's positive people in my life. You know.
And now you got a really good job.
Yeah.
You got your driver's license.
Yeah.
You're doing so amazing. You're talking. Like, that's a huge thing in itself. People don't realize how it is hard for people to open up, right?
Yeah,
Tell their
especially
story.
for me. I'm not a people. I'm not a people person. That's obviously. I mean,
Right.
I can't get up in front of crowds. I don't think I can. I do it in my head. You know,
You're doing good.
but
So if you could tell anybody out there that's struggling in their addictions, people that are in the prison, people that could take a little bit of advice from you, what would you say to them for them to get their life on track and to make the changes that they might need?
I would say, honest, you have to find a purpose. Purpose for me, like I said, my purpose is Jesus. My purpose in life is Jesus. I mean, I can't. Everybody's gonna hear, "Oh, Jesus is and this and that," but man, when you surrender to Jesus, you'll understand how serious it is. I mean, people say, "Well, that's a difficult life." It's difficult because you're giving up your old habits. It's difficult because you're stopping what you're used to doing.
Right.
You know, so I would say, you know, find a good celebrate recovery, man. That's, you know, stuff like that. I mean, but Jesus is the answer.
Right.
So if you don't want to hear that, then
Keep going out there doing the most of the most, right?
yeah. I mean, I hate to say I'm 52 years old, but I ain't got no teeth. I mean, hopefully it's
Well, you're
not-
getting teeth.
Well, yeah, I'm getting, yeah. But I'm just saying, that's because of the drugs. It's because of the
Because of the
fights,
drugs.
and,
You're right.
fights and the drugs, and you know, I've been through a hard life, man. I'm happy now. I'm happy. You know?
Thank you so much, because I know that you get nervous doing this. So
I'm
it's
Mr.
so fun.
July. What's happening?
So Warren's gonna be in our calendar in July. Everyone
This
can
has
hear
been
more.
Bum Productions.
Yeah, Bum Productions. Thank you, everybody.